Hi, I'm Alex Clarke and I'm joined by Martha Ashby. Martha, just before we get down to the brass tacks of this prize and what you're doing, we're sitting in a very nice room in central London, but we're talking about comedy and women and writing and humour, and we've walked past the most extraordinarily explicit. How can I put this? It's a picture of, well, it's a cock and balls, isn't it?
It is a cock and balls, yeah.
It's not appropriate, don't you think?
It is the antithesis of the prize, I feel.
It is. It is. I'm sorry, Tracy Emin, who I believe. Actually, I mean, it's lovely if that's the kind of thing you're after. But it's a lovely summer's morning, and we're talking about ladies and why ladies are funny.
Yeah. I would have preferred to see a fanny, quite frankly. That would have been much more on brand.
Well, we've got a fanny among the judging panel, but I don't think that's quite what you meant. Now, Martha, tell me what you're doing here.
Is that HarperCollins is going to be publishing the winner, which I'm absolutely delighted because we've decided it today. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to mention who it is yet or not, but we've decided our winner today, and I couldn't be more delighted.
You can tell me, I won't tell you.
So our winner...
Spill the beans.
Spill the beans. The winner is Cowgirl by Kirsty Eyre, and I was so delighted that we were unanimous, absolutely unanimous on the fact that she was going to win it.
And why? What was the thing?
Because the first thing was that it felt very fresh. It felt like nothing I'd read before, and it certainly felt extremely different to everything else on the list. We had so much brilliant and original fiction on the long list and particularly on the short list, but this one just stood head and shoulders above the rest for something that felt fresh and like a breath of fresh air.
Give us a flavour. What's it about? Is it actually about cowgirls?
It is about cowgirls. So this is about a young woman who is studying her PhD on preeclampsia, which she has a vested interest in as her mother died in childbirth, giving birth to her.
I'm just going to... Not immediately a laugh a minute setup.
No, but so she comes from a farming family, and when her father is, oh my God, I can't remember the details now. She ends up moving back to Derbyshire, and to help with the family farm, and she has never had an interest in farming or cows or any of that business, but she finds a way to be there for her family, to be there for her friends, but also to follow her own passions and her own PhD and her professional aspirations. And another thing that also made this feel really different is that it has at the heart of it a really brilliantly told, extremely romantic love story between two women. We did have a few diverse authors in the mix, but this was just, it just felt so brilliant, and yeah, it was just unanimous. It was unanimous. It was so funny, so fresh, and so different, and just some really brilliant set pieces as well. Like, you're going to have to read it
I am going to have to read it.
You're going to have to read it.
I am going to have to read it, but I must say you're going to have to publish it before that.
We are going to have to publish it.
Which sort of brings me to the kind of idea. I mean, I love the way that you've described this, even with a little hint of Cold Comfort Farm to it. The farming part, perhaps not the rest of it. But when you find that author and you think, this is really fresh, this has clearly touched a nerve with everyone on the judging panel, now you're going to bring that in front of a wider audience.
Yeah.
Obviously, this goes for all debut writers, but no one will have heard of her.
No.
How do you go about saying, okay, this is somebody you really need to read?
Oh, God, how do you publish a book? Well, I don't think we've got quite enough time to cover everything. I think we will be... I think that Helen has done an amazing job of publicising comedy women in print. So the first thing I think is that we're going to get some really great buzz from around the prize. We will also be garnering some quotes from our brilliant panel, because I think that having Jenny Eclair say it was one of the funniest books that she read this year is going to...
She's no slouch.
She's no
when it comes to writing funny. So
I think, some nice endorsements, and I think that I think we're going to... I'm really looking forward to sending this out ahead of publication to get those endorsements, because I think people will recognise how brilliant it is, and how... I keep saying fresh, I've got to find a different word to use, but how original this voice is, and how...
Not formulaic, in other words.
Not formulaic, yeah, and how well she's captured something extremely specific, which is dairy farming in Derbyshire, and made it feel like a world that you know everything about, with an amazing cast of characters who we recognise, like the grandmother, like her personality, and the father who has always just wanted the best for his daughter and has tried to be a father and a mother to his motherless child. And you know, she's both made it specific and universal, and that's a real talent in a writer.
Thank you so much. Now, this is another difficult question to ask a publisher. When do you think we might see it?
Well, I'm hoping to publish it next summer, because what I'd really like to do is publish it around the time that Quip are going to be announcing next year's winner, because I think that we could do some really nice events, and also that kind of handing of the crown from last year's winner to the new winner, and having the publishing around the same time as well, I think would be really nice. So TBC next summer.
I won't hold you to it,
No,
but
good.
we look forward to seeing it. Thank you so much, Martha, for joining us this morning.
No problem, my pleasure.